Get all that out. All right, guys. Welcome to Two Dads in a Podcast. I'm Dan Riley.
And I'm Ben Morris, and it's Two Dads in a Comic.
What did I say?
You said, Two Dads in a Podcast.
You know what? No, we're rolling with it.
No, let's go with it. Blemishes and all.
Two Dads in a Comic. Damn it. Why can't I get our name right?
I don't know.
I was so excited. It's the new surroundings.
It is the new surroundings.
I'm so thrown off.
We're here in the beautiful Appalachian Mountains.
No Internetville.
No Internetville. What should we call this? Since this is going to be our studio, quote unquote.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Just trying to think something anti-Google, because I was like, I could figure this out, and I was like, Google doesn't exist here.
Yeah, Google is not a thing here.
Google hasn't seen these lands.
AOL ain't a thing here.
What I would do to kill to hear the dial-up of AOL. So, as we said, yeah, we're at a new location. We're at Ben's house and his family.
Yeah, we're here with me and my wife and my kids and my in-laws.
And we locked them outside.
Because we would never get this done.
Look at Ashley. She's like, I can't. Why is she acting weird about coming in there? She snuck in like she was gonna, like she was gonna go like firing off a couple guns. She's doing this.
Walking into the mudroom.
I thought she was gonna come in here, so I was like, come in. And she was like sneaking. I'm like, there's a door between us.
You should have gave her the no. No, stay back.
Just make her really go, no, they'll pick up. Like she's coming over there. Look.
Oh my gosh.
Everything to avoid us. So, yeah, so anyways, we move places. I kind of don't live at the old place.
Mm-hmm.
It's still technically my property, or rental property? I don't know how that works. So, Ben, we got pushed back a week because you went to Florida.
Yeah, went on vacation.
Any good family stories?
Yeah, we had a good time.
In your spare house?
Yeah, our spare house. No, it's my parents' house that they have in Florida. Look, it's not like some kind of mansion on the beach, all right? It's a one-floor, 3-bedroom ranch deal in a silly little neighborhood that you have to drive 20 miles to get to the beach. All right, but it's nice. It is. It's really nice, and we don't have to pay to stay somewhere when we go visit.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is it another house besides the one they primarily live in?
Yes, it is another house.
Spare house.
Okay, fine. Spare house. Anyway, we went to the damn spare house. And we went to the beach a couple days and went to the Mayaca River Preserve. I can't remember what it's called, but kids got to see some alligators and
yeah, very
wildlife.
Nice telling me all about them.
Yeah, she loves talking about them. It's great. But yeah, we had a really good time.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of same old. I just stayed in Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
But we got our second shots. We had the doctor's appointment the other day. Mm-hmm. She is 16 pounds.
Wow.
26.2 inches long.
Jeez.
She's going to be tall.
She's big, man.
Yeah.
She's going to be a monster.
Yeah, she's like, we have her in 6 to 9 month onesies. She just hit 4 months. This child is a monster.
She's going to be a bruiser, man.
You know that video we watched where it was a slow motion, the dude shaking the baby and it was the jiggling?
Mm-hmm.
I would do that with Aurora, but I can't keep the balance.
I can't hold her that long.
Because there's so many rolls everywhere. But no, like Morgan's dad was over 6 foot and her brother's over 6 foot. Like they're tall dudes.
Dude.
Like I'm 5'9" and they tower me. I mean, 5'9's not tall, but...
You're not going to have to worry about boys at all.
No. If anything, she's going to defend me from people.
She's going to be terrifying.
Yeah. But we got her second shots, and she did as expected as a baby getting shots for the most part.
Yeah.
But she's talking back and forth, and I was telling you earlier how you'll coo to her and like she'll wait for you to stop and then do it back. I was amazed by that.
Yeah, that's a special thing, man.
Yeah, like you start seeing so at first when they come out, they don't know where their arms are, they don't know where their feet are, things are just happening.
Yeah.
And then they get to the phase where they'll just stare at their hand for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's when autopilot turns off.
Yeah, and like they'll start to react to things, and it's just awesome to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's... Do I have any? No, that's all I got. I thought I had more.
That's all I got.
I mean,
nothing.
You
Child,
think I would
whatever.
With, being a week late on recording, but all right. Well, I guess we'll just dive into news.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what? I told John that, as a rough a segue as it can get, I was telling John how we first met.
Okay.
And how I fucking hated you.
That's fair.
That's fair. So, okay, I came into game. You probably don't remember it. Because I was just a random customer at that point.
Nah.
Like, it was the first time I interacted with you. I came in, and a certain douchebag was working.
Okay.
Not you. You know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
And he was talking about something, and I don't ever really consider myself a regular at GameStop, especially now that, like, I work there and see regulars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was never there, like, once a week or anything. Well, anyways.
No.
Well, at the time, I was with my ex.
Okay.
It was one of those relationships where I didn't pay attention to bills, nothing. I just worked, it went to the account, she paid the bills. I never knew it was in the account, so I would have to find out, like, hey, we got enough money for me to pick this up.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot what game I was looking at. Well, I was like, and I told Douche, I was like, hey, let me make a phone call real quick, make sure I got the funds for it. And little snarky ass Ben back around be like, oh, she wear the pants in that family? Or something really like...
That sounds like me.
It sounds totally like you. Now, what got me was, I never met you. I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
See, now, it's got to be true. That sounds exactly like me.
You. And I actually, to the point where, like, if I went to the store and you were there, I left.
Oh,
I was like, nope. Boop. And John, I was telling John this. He's like, really? I was like, bro, I fucking hated Ben. I was like, he was just a smart ass me out of nowhere.
Dude, I was trying to break down the wall, man. You look like you needed a friend.
I mean, I was talking to Douche, so.
Well, see.
Well,
if nothing else, I saved you.
That was a pretty cold way of going in.
Well,
hey, you little bitch in the family.
Yeah, see,
does she at least buy your tampons for you?
I can't argue with that because, like I said, it sounds exactly like me.
But I was telling John about it. He goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, dude." I was like, we never really talked, so that's kind of the impression I had. And then I told him how, like, after that, when I worked at GameStop, like, people would tell me about working with you, and I actually got mad. I'm like, "Fuck, I would have loved working with him." Because I tell him, I'm like, I thought he was kind of a dick. And they're like, no, like, he could be an asshole, but, like, like, if you're friends with him, like, he's awesome. And I was like, oh, shit. And then you would come in, and I'd BS with you, and then you start working at LJ, and then I transferred over, and now
there it is.
Podcast.
A budding romance.
But John thought it was so, and it kind of is, like, to think of how it all happened.
What?
And he goes, and now you guys do podcasts. I was like, yeah. I was like, and I can truly count Ben as one of my best friends. And
goes,
that's crazy. I was like, yeah, it happens.
Believe it or not, I have made a lot of friends like that. Because I was a bartender for many, many years. And like one of my very best friends, Doug, started like that. He was a drunken dickhead at the bar. And we made fun of him ruthlessly.
Oh my God.
And then he basically became family to me.
So does no. I was gonna say, does that mean some of the people that we see come in could be friends with us one day?
I'm not counting it out of the equation, but you got to keep in mind, I am incredibly selective.
I like Family Guy.
No, not at all.
Not even in a realm of.
No, with him it's entirely sincere.
Like if I could murder someone.
If I had, like...
He'd be on, like, a top 10 list?
Yeah.
He may not make it. Because he's just really annoying.
Well, like, if I had the monkey's paw, and I still had, 2 wishes left... I mean, it's not going to be my last wish.
I was going to say, why is it like, what was your first wish?
No, well, that's what I'm saying. If I've already got, my first wish, all the money and power, blah, 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 blah.
course.
But then I got 2 left. I might use one of them to erase him.
Or maybe just make him mute.
Well, that could work too, I guess.
You think he would sign annoyingly?
He probably
Think
would.
he'd be like this?
Or like, he would grunt annoyingly.
Well, no. I mean, if we go mute, we got to go completely silent.
Well, yeah.
Like, if he smacked a table, instead of a smack, it would be nothing. Like, literally no vibration could be bounced off him.
Now, let's get serious here, man. I'm talking about the monkey's paw.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was getting a little too out of the realm of possibilities there. Define physics and
Monkey's
vibrations with the monkey paw. Can you wish for more monkey paw?
No. It's kind of like the genie from Aladdin.
Fucking rip off.
No wishing for more wishes. You can't kill anybody. Or maybe you could. I don't remember. It's been a while.
With Aladdin, you could. Well, the Disney one, anyways.
Yeah. I can see the real Aladdin being a murderous fuck.
Probably a lot of those stories are based off just harsh
Aladdin.
shit.
What are we talking about?
That was the real.
What are we doing?
Talked about. We went from us meeting to monkey paw.
Okay, you see, understand, people. This is basically a conversation we have at any given moment. You've just been given a glimpse into the daily lives of Ben and Danny.
I have the worst memory. I'll have to sit there and try to remember what I was originally trying to tell you.
Yeah. I had something I was going to say that was pertinent. And
Iceland fell into the ocean. I forgot to tell
oh,
you.
yeah. Iceland.
But, anyways, we'll jump into our news.
Yeah, news.
Which we just put most of it together today. I don't know. I had a good bit.
That means it's,
fresh.
Current, relevant.
No, there's a lot I skipped because a lot was just Pokemon Go.
Yeah, topical Pokemon Go. Jesus Christ.
Don't get me wrong,
That shit's everywhere,
it
man.
ruled the internet.
Yeah.
Like, just a couple quick things. So, I don't think you saw the Westboro Baptist Church is a Poke Gym. How amazing is that?
Of course it is. Is it all racist Pokemon?
Probably. Well, don't they, it's weird with them, they boycott everybody.
I don't know why Pokemon would be cool with them.
I don't think they come to you and be like, hey, can we make you a Poke Gym? Nintendo's just like, fuck you, you're a Poke Gym.
I mean, so you just find this place and you say, I'm going to make it a gym? Is that how it works?
I'm assuming probably what they did was, God, dude.
I don't have the equipment to play Pokemon Go because I have an 18-year-old phone.
You do. It works very well, though. So I'm assuming what they have to do, and mind you, this is coming from a mind of ignorance in this subject. I'm just kind of spitballing. They can, on their, GPS map, because that's what it's based on, all GPS, they can look up coordinates and just be like, there's something.
Okay.
So, major, the White House is a gym.
Wow.
Trump Towers is a gym. The Westboro Baptist Church is a gym. Yeah. And a lot of Pokestops are historical places. When you go to Murphy, the hen will be a Pokestop, and you click on it, and it brings up a picture of the hen.
Oh,
and same thing. You know how they have the monument on the opposite side in the corner?
Yeah,
and it has the plaque. That plaque will pop up.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's kind of making people the
Does it have the Hardys that burned down a few years ago? I mean, people still talk about it, so I just assume it's historical.
It should be. It's kind of cool because it's kind of promoting for people, when you just look at it, it's oh, it's a Pokemon game, I can go catch Pokemon. But, it's trying to get people out there, and walking.
That's cool. And
visiting spots.
As soon as I can, I will play it because I love Pokemon.
But yeah, it's a good game, but it's taken over. People need to be a little more responsible with how they're playing this game.
Yeah, people are playing this while they're driving.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane.
I didn't look at the article because I've just been skipping all Pokemon Go stuff. I think there has legit been, a big accident because of it.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, there's that one girl that found a dead body floating on the river.
Well, it's not like she killed a man.
Yeah. We're discovering homicide.
He's got the Dratini.
We're solving homicide.
Get him.
Yeah. But, alright, so, first off with DC News as always, Stephen Amell, a.k.a. Golfer Queen, he announced that Cody Rhodes will appear on Arrow Season 5. Do you know who Cody Rhodes is?
No.
Okay, WWE Stardust.
Oh, Dusty Rhodes' son.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so.
Yeah.
he actually, and the only reason why I ever saw this because I like Stephen Amell. They brought Stephen Amell into the WWE a little bit.
What?
They made a rivalry between Stardust and Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell actually fought at like SummerSlam.
Like as the Arrow, or
just as well, he did come on stage with the costume.
Oh,
yeah, it was pretty awesome.
That's cool.
He beat up Stardust. He won.
That's pretty sweet.
And I think they were supposed to do some more, but anyways, Cody Rhodes, he requested and was granted a release from the WWE May of this year. No idea why, or I didn't see. It may be out there, but yeah, he just asked for a release, and they were like, all right. And I think they had more plans for Stephen Amell and him in the WWE.
So he's going to be on the show?
He's going to be on the show. No news on who he will be. I think actually they did.
I hope it's as Stardust.
Well, funny thing is, like, he wouldn't be able to do that because WWE can sue him because
that's
they have
true.
license. Actually, I heard on, was it the Free For All guys were talking about it? No, you know what? I think it's on Tell 'em Steve Dave. I was starting to listen to so many podcasts.
Tell 'em Steve Dave.
My information's coming from. But anyways, Chyna, the wrestler, like, she was going to use that name, but WWE, or F at that time, I guess, was like, no. So she legally changed her name to Chyna.
Oh. She passed away.
She did.
Very recently, didn't she?
Yeah, I think overdose probably. Probably steroids, though. She was... my dad's fought her.
Fought?
In New York.
Blake.
There was a call.
What?
Yeah. And, like, it took, like, 6 or 7 officers to take her down.
Was she, like, jacked up on something?
Yeah.
Was she, like, roid raging, or...?
I think so. She was on something. But this was, like, 90s.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, that was, at her heyday.
Yeah.
And he fought her? Oh, my God.
I'm pretty sure it was either him or his truck went. I'm pretty sure he said he was... But anyways, either way, like, yeah. They had a fight, and he said it took, like, 7 or 8 officers to even remotely, like, get her down.
Jesus.
She's fucking huge.
She was, like, Swamp Thing.
Did you ever, like... Did you know she did, she didn't do Hustler?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. It was...
Bad.
Yeah.
She looked like she had a little...
Yeah, it was terrifying.
It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So, Justice League, the movie, sounds like it's going to be really good.
Awesome.
Actually, I'm going to save that. Well, I don't. It's Justice League news, and then I got all the Justice League news at the end of this. But we'll go into more CW. Mm-hmm. They're going to air Season 1 of Supergirl starting August 1st.
Ooh.
Every Monday night, they'll have 2 episodes.
That'd be a good way to catch up.
It's a very smart move, because being that they're bringing her to CW, they shouldn't assume that, like, all their CW watchers have watched it.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be very dangerous to do.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean...
Well, there's a pretty good chance that they haven't watched it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not... It's. I want to see what they're going to do with Season 2, because the style of Supergirl does not fit the CW style. Like, almost at all. Which, it's not technically, like... It's in the Arrow Flashverse, but it's not. It's a different world, so they can keep to the style that they have, and it makes sense. I mean, they did bring Barry over, and he fit fine.
Mm-hmm. I think it'll click very well on CW.
Yeah.
Whatever style they use.
I think they have the guys to make the tweaks. It's
that kind of show.
It is, and the thing I'm excited about is.
What was this thing with my hands?
I don't know, like an invisible ball. Were you reading a globe? You'll be very pleased with your reading.
Telling your future.
But I think they got the right people over there. I am interested to see if they're going to up like some of the visuals. Because the reason why... Now, not all of them were horrible, like, on TV scale.
Well, it was on what? CBS?
I believe so.
Yeah. They got all the money. And,
looked like it.
And the effects weren't there.
Like, so here's the thing. Okay, so on Flash, have you watched any of the episodes?
A couple.
The effects are amazing. For TV, amazing. Like I think they look really good.
I will say this: the very first episode with the Weather Master, pretty spectacular.
Oh yeah, it's good. Like there's only a few things that look kind of weird, and it's a lot when he does like the time travel and running in the Speed Force. He's very CG, but at the same time, like you have to keep movie standards and TV standards completely different because TV's never going to look like movie standards.
No,
not on their budgets. But anyways, my main issue was with they kind of brought Brainiac into Supergirl. It wasn't Brainiac, but it was like someone who's attached to Brainiac. It was weird.
Oh,
some girl, but
so Brainiac's gonna show up in this show. That's crazy.
Sort of, yeah. Reference point. But like, I don't know. Like, she's supposed to be an android, but like, she's clearly wearing like a full bodysuit. Okay. I don't know. It's super weird looking.
Okay.
I guess it's not the worst I've seen, but I feel like the Flash guys would have done better with it.
Well, I'll say this: I'm glad to catch up on it now that I know that Superman's going to show up.
Yeah, Superman's going to show up. It's I forgot the actor's name, but it's the same guy who played Derek in Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
On MTV, which
it's the guy who looked like fucking Superman.
Yeah, I tell you what, like, he would make a really good Batman.
Yeah, probably.
Because in Teen Wolf, I don't know if you ever watched it. It's pretty. When I first saw the previews for it, you think, Teen Wolf from fucking Michael J. Fox, and you're like, what the fuck are they doing?
Comedy.
And then you watch it, and you completely like.
I'm thinking basketball playing werewolf.
You know what? It's sort of comparable. Now, I'm not saying as far as how good the show is compared to what I'm about to say. It's sort of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie to Buffy the Vampire Slayer show.
Oh.
It's like, it's that exact kind of, except for Buffy the movie was like I don't know, maybe that was pretty on par with like a Teen Wolf. Now I look back, like super 80s. Yeah, I
loved Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Everything about it.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Movie, TV show, all of it.
That's still one of my favorite shows out there. But it was like that. That same transition. But anyways, Derek, he plays a werewolf who was born a werewolf. He wasn't bitten. He was born into it.
Born a werewolf?
Yeah.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, there's a whole big lore in there.
They have different rules and everything.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like
they can change at will.
Yeah. Well, in the show, they get to the point where, like, they make it to where even if you're bitten, if you train and all this, like Derek kind of helps them. And
kind of like Jedi Padawan kind of stuff.
Pretty much.
For werewolves.
And makes it to where, like, they can transform on their own. And
use the Force. And
and, like, something that was kind of cool that really brought me into it was, in there they have, like, their alphas and all this, and to become an alpha, you have to kill an alpha. But every now and then it's very
like
rare.
Prison.
Yeah, pretty much. But like every now and then, like there's such thing as a born alpha, to where you don't have to kill an alpha to become one. You just like turn into one, and they're like the most powerful.
So it's just like birthright stuff. That's cool.
Kind of. And Scott, the main character who gets bit, turns out he's a true alpha. But anyways, also a Supergirl. Linda Carter is going to be the president.
As the president of the United States.
How amazing
Linda
is that?
Carter.
They're just bringing it from everywhere.
I love her.
No, Dean Cain's on that show.
He is?
Yeah.
Dean Cain.
Dean Cain plays Supergirl's, like, adopted father on Earth.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Good for him.
Yeah.
He needs the work. Last time I saw him, he was doing, like, a ham commercial or something.
He was doing something.
Was it like that Pepperidge Farm crap or something?
Pepperidge Farm's cookies.
Hi, I'm Dean Cain. Remember me?
I was
yeah,
on
me
Lois
either.
And Clark. And then Guinness Book. Well, no, not Ripley's Believe It or Not.
However, I did watch a lot of Lois and Clark.
I did too.
A lot of it.
I would always point out, like, the reason why I like Batman more than Superman was if you take Superman's powers away. Like, now this was like before I was more knowledge on everything. Remember that one episode where Clark loses his powers? So, like, the whole theory behind it in Lois and Clark was, since he had all these powers and stuff, he didn't actually work his muscles out, so he couldn't even, like, walk.
Yeah. And when he was, like, trying to pick up a book or something.
Like, he couldn't, like, he would, like, fall on the ground. And
He's like trying to brush his teeth or something and
like,
couldn't move the brush.
He couldn't do anything because the whole thing was like, oh, well, since he had super strength, he never actually had to work out his muscles. Like
that was a really stupid kind of premise.
It's horrible.
He basically he turned into like a bag of shit with bones.
Might as well. I heard chitlins.
Yeah, they're running around out there.
Running around, sneaking.
Closing their eyes. I'm camouflaged.
That was amazing. That's my favorite thing ever. Look, I'm camouflaged.
She closes her eyes.
But, oh my god, it's fantastic. But yeah, so we're getting Linda Carter in there, so we will see.
That's awesome.
So Batman the Killing Joke is killing it.
I assumed it would.
Yeah, they added 300 more theaters to the one night exclusive because all the theaters in the major locations or major markets have sold out. So there's now over 1,000 places showing the Killing Joke for one night.
That's awesome.
You know what? I know we were going to try to see it, but I don't think we can make it work because I think that's the weekend or the week I have to go to Franklin or Asheville.
Where? What theater?
Well, when we were at the store and I looked it up, there was one like 20 minutes from there. But then I put 28906 and it was like 50 minutes.
So Atlanta.
Yeah. Well, there was somewhere, I think that's where it's Chattanooga. When I looked up from Murphy. What I'm saying is we'd probably both have to take that day off.
Oh.
And I'm already
yeah.
off 3 days that week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it comes out a couple days after.
That
All we're going to be missing is like intros from like, which don't get me wrong, I'd love to see it, but like from Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll add that to the.
I don't know. It's supposed to be a con exclusive thing because like that's the whole thing. Like we would see the exact same thing they showed at Comic-Con.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll double check the dates just to make sure. Maybe we'll look at it and it'll be a week after or before.
We might need to get us a caravan going to that thing.
That'd be awesome. All right, so now to our Justice League.
Justice League.
And speaking of Joker, there is theories that there's a possible Joker cameo in Justice League.
From like the Suicide Squad Joker?
Yeah, from Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Because he was spotted arriving in London, which is only 20 miles from the Warner Brothers studios. Now, if there is a cameo, it's probably very short because he was spotted like later on that night, like arriving back in like LA or somewhere. So.
Okay.
So if there is a cameo, it was very short.
Right.
You know, it's just kind of weird that he would be in London for a day.
Well, yeah.
Or maybe not later that night, but like really close. Like he was only there for maybe a day. So that'd be. I like that they're kind of doing.
Yeah, trying to tie it all in.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Just little things here and there, because Marvel kind of did their way, which they kept everything pretty separate.
So I guess they're pretty much solid on Jared Leto being the Joker of this cinematic universe.
I tell you what, from the stills that I'm seeing, I showed you some of them. I think it looks great.
I'm sold.
Like there was the one where that's a baby.
It looks like a madman.
This was the one I'm really sold with. When he's looking in the case.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's good. One that like I love.
With the hair and the crazy facial expressions.
Yeah, and then it's kind of like the two opposite sides of the personality.
Yeah, where he looks like a maniac with that baseball bat. Yeah,
and I like those tattoos. I know so many people are down on it, but I kind of like the look.
Kind of dreamy.
Like a one Ben Morris.
Yeah.
All right, so. Okay, we got a bunch of Justice League stuff here. We're just going to try to nail that real quick.
All right.
So, okay, the opening prologue will show Darkseid's role.
Okay.
Bruce Wayne, this is exactly what we said, actually, is going to be a changed man after the death of Superman.
Yeah, you called that shot, man.
I mean, it's kind of obvious. They couldn't really... We didn't see him grow from where he started, so you have to have some growth to a character.
And how many people have you been telling? Pretty much anyone willing to listen.
Anybody who is stuck in a room with me. Years.
You know he's going to be a changed man.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just throwing
and then there. You just leave.
Leave. Just walking around in stores and say that.
Who was he talking about?
Yeah, I'll say movie name. I just say that. Batman has another vehicle called the Nightcrawler. It's what he uses to move through an abandoned tunnel between Metropolis and Gotham. Other reports say it looks like almost a Batmobile with, like, spider legs.
Oh.
Yeah, and apparently moves really quick.
That's rad.
Yeah. Batman will have at least 2 suits in Justice League. One thing that's pretty surprising is, according to reports on the set, because I think they were there for the set where Bruce and Barry meet. Ezra Miller's Flash may be the best part of the movie, and that his suit will be made of almost 150 pieces.
150 pieces?
Yeah.
Jesus.
3 mother boxes on Earth. There's one possessed by humans, Atlanteans, and Amazonians.
Awesome.
So, like, the theory is, like, Darkseid wants those back. Or not back, because we don't know if they come from him in this world, but...
Sure they do. They have to come from Apocalypse.
Most likely.
That's where the damn things are made.
Yeah, yeah. I guess they could have come from whoever was prior to Darkseid.
No.
No?
No.
Is that a Darkseid
No.
thing? Well, okay. There's a vehicle called the Flying Fox, which is an airplane the whole Justice League flies around in.
Okay.
So it's like a Justice League jet. It's got to remember, in this one, Wonder Woman doesn't fly.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wonder Woman doesn't fly. Yeah, so she's got to
not
get
like
around
they're
somehow.
having to accommodate. Well, even if that's the case, it'd only be her and Superman. Because Flash doesn't fly. Granted, he can just run there.
Does Wonder Woman not fly?
No, I don't think so in this incarnation.
She's awful fast.
She's quick.
I
don't think she can fly, though.
Crazy.
I think they're going with more grounded Wonder Woman.
A grounded Wonder Woman. Move on.
And next one. Let's see. Ezra Miller is said to be doing a bit of hysterical improv here and there. And he's a lot of comic relief, which Barry usually is. And I kind of figured that's how it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know? I was like, they're not going to bring in a serious Barry. Just like whenever we get a Hal Jordan, he's going to be a smartass. Because that's Hal Jordan. That's the character.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a nerd, which, par for course.
Okay.
Bruce Wayne upgrades Flash's suit with Wayne Tech at the end of the film. Barry's suit is the same material NASA uses to prevent burn-up during re-entry. Makes sense.
Okay.
We don't need that. Next time, this not is, well, yeah, it's just League news. Superman will have slightly longer hair when we see him next.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Big news.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
There's some of the comics with him that he has longer hair, so that's kind of what they're...
And also in New 52 where he has, like, basically like a military haircut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have a military haircut?
Yeah, he's got, like, the shaved sides and then, like, the top knot kind of thing, you know, like...
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like in 17, I think, something like that.
Okay, so the negative reaction to the Dark Tone Batman movies versus Superman did make WB change their approach to Justice League, but it didn't, trigger a complete overhaul, which obvious because they haven't made big announcements on it. I didn't think it would, but J.K. Simmons, who's ripped, as you saw today,
massive, wow,
will sport a mustache, glasses, and wear a hairpiece for his role as Gordon.
He got huge.
Oh yeah, he's jacked.
Wow. So are they going to set him up? Surely to God, they're not going to try to set him up as like the Gordon Batman.
I don't know.
Are they?
That's a theory. I don't think they're going to go with that. But you never know.
That seems like something they'd want to go way, way down the line with. But why else would he be getting so fucking huge?
Well, I mean, they could do that later on with and just him just be because Jim Gordon's supposed to be in shape.
Yeah,
like he can
but
fight
not
if need.
Enormous.
Yeah, I have a feeling like we're not going to be able to tell.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like I doubt he's going to be in the movie in what he was wearing in that picture.
His workout clothes and
I was just in the office
and his mountain man beard.
Let's see.
He looked like a backwoods rapist in that picture.
Yeah, a scary one.
Yeah,
or a scarier one. Steppenwolf will be the main villain.
Cool.
Leading the parademons in a search for the Mother Box.
Okay.
Let's see. Cyborg suit is apocalyptic in its technology and will feature a gun arm. The suit will also feature a civilian mode where he's covered up in a tracksuit and hoodie for getting around civilians.
Huh.
And they've announced, which I thought this one was kind of obvious, but apparently it wasn't, he will be, like, all CG.
All CG?
Pretty much. Except for, like, the one part of, like, human face.
Like part of his head? Yeah. Okay.
Which, I mean, I guess they could have tried to go...
Practical effects with
I don't know.
Cyborg?
That's a rough one.
It'd probably end up looking kind of cheesy.
Yeah,
because
like he'll have to like change and stuff. And,
yeah.
And the last thing was...
Wrap him in tinfoil.
Just have someone like run up and like mold the tinfoil into something else. It's a sword.
Firing like matchbox cars out of him. Pew, pew.
Or they just like make it into a makeshift catapult. He just has to like catapult the cars. Last thing on Justice League is Aquaman wears jeans above surface and has a strong personality.
Okay.
That's kind of a weird one.
All right.
But that's all the Justice League. There's a lot of it. Like, that was all put out in, like, one day.
Wow.
Like, I woke up and I retweeted, I'm pretty sure, everything, but, like, it was insane. Like, all the information that they put out, which they're needing. They need to get good buzz behind it. Mm-hmm. And for everybody who saw that scene with Batman and Flash said it was awesome. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so that's our DC news. We'll get into Marvel. One of our actress we both really like, Anna Kendrick. Mm-hmm. She came out and talked about how she wants to play Squirrel Girl.
I would love to see that.
That'd be pretty fantastic.
I mean, Squirrel Girl is a very unique kind of character. I don't know. I like Anna Kendrick. Mm-hmm. I don't know that she's perfect for that. Yeah. But I think she could make it her own.
Yeah. And I don't know enough about the character to be like, yeah, she'd be great.
Squirrel Girl's really quirky and weird and also pretty much a badass.
That's awesome.
It's I think, a like, really just looking character.
And knowing that, because I kind of know that she's, supposed to be cute and all this and all. And there's actual, like, of course, anytime an actor or actress says they want to play this person, that person, like, the internet blows up with, like, fan-made pictures. And, like, it looked really good. Mm-hmm. Funny thing is, like, she knew nothing. Like, she talked about, like, she doesn't read comics, nothing. What happened is her brother sent her a Squirrel Girl comic and said, you would be perfect for this role. Awesome. And she started reading them and fell in love with the character.
That's great. Squirrel Girl is so great. I've got some. I'll let you read it. But yeah, she lives in the Avengers attic.
Do they not like let her come down? Or
no, she doesn't. They don't know she lives there.
Really?
And she lives up there with her little pet squirrel Tippy Toe. And she just decides one day, I'm gonna go to college.
All right.
And she has. It's so great. She has trading cards that she carries around in like a fanny pack. They're trading cards made by Deadpool about different villains.
That's amazing.
So she goes to college, and for some series of events happens, and Craven the Hunter's there. So she pulls out her cards, and she's looking through her Deadpool cards for Craven.
Oh my god, fantastic.
It says down at the bottom, like in crayon, it says, call him Cravey Wavy. He loves it. It's so funny.
Oh my god, it's fantastic. They're actually, there's rumors of Craven being the main villain for Homecoming.
That'd be cool, man.
Oh, yeah, it'd be nice to see like a villain that hasn't been put in movies yet. Mm-hmm. So, I was telling you, Ghost Rider's going to pop up. Yeah. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. could be casting for a Ghost Rider in the series.
Like, really? Like Johnny Blaze or Ghost Rider?
Well, okay, so there's nothing official put out there. Mm-hmm. There was an advertisement at San Diego Light Train, or Light Rail, some train, I guess. Okay. And I guess it's like pre-Comic-Con advertising or whatever. They'll probably have it there for Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. But
like a MARTA thing? Is that what it is? But anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, but when you look at the train, like it says Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and along the bottom of it, it's a chain that's on fire.
All right.
Yeah, and he's also has a close connection to Sky in the show.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Lost what I was saying. Sky, the character, she God, what's her actual superhero name? Anyways, she makes earthquakes happen and shit.
Okay.
And
Terra? No, that's DC. Never mind.
Is there also different alter egos for Ghost Rider?
Yeah, there actually is. There's
James J.T. Taylor?
Yeah.
Okay, so he makes an appearance in season 3 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, he was one of the Spirits of Vengeance.
Okay.
There was him, and then there was a Spanish guy. I can't remember his real name, but he was also a Spirit of Vengeance. He was actually just Vengeance.
Okay.
He was a crazy... Have you ever read any of the Spirits of Vengeance? Where, it's a crazy-looking Ghost Rider, and he's got, spikes on his head.
No, I haven't seen any of that.
Busting out of his back and stuff, and he's, enormous.
Oh.
Yeah, it's cool. So it's, 90s, early 2000s. I'll dig some of it up, too, and let you look at it. It's
awesome.
It's crazy stuff.
Really?
I've actually got a figure of Vengeance that
Really?
I'll show you. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
He's got a different-looking bike and everything.
That's cool. So, if they, from the sounds of it, if they put Ghost Rider in it, it's not the Ghost Rider that everybody knows from the Nick Cage movies.
Have they considered Nick Cage?
I really wish they would. Along next to Danny DeVito, Nick Cage is the second most beloved actor of our time.
Danny DeVito as one of the Spirits of Vengeance.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Danny DeVito in a while.
No, we haven't.
A few episodes.
It's because we've been talking about Nick Cage.
I know. Damn it, Nick Cage.
He's magical.
Taking the spotlight from Danny.
He thinks he really is magic.
He is. I
imagine he doesn't drive a car. He flies around on a griffin.
How else would he get around? You picture that man driving a normal car? Because that doesn't happen. Did we talk about it? How Nick Cage came out and said they're working on another National Treasure and how they're fact-checking it?
Fact-checking. It's insane.
But yeah, so we can get Ghost Rider on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It may make me watch it. I still have to watch it all.
Wow, that seems like a big investment.
See, here's the thing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's not a bad show. It's not. And when I start watching it, I'll get hooked.
Mm-hmm.
But if I spend too much time not watching it, I don't care to go back.
Mm.
Season 2, I watched in the back of the store on my lunches.
Mm-hmm.
Was that season 2? Yeah. And then, because what happened was, once I got TV, I was like, oh, season 3 premiere. Record it. And I watched it, and I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, I'll go watch season 2.
It's kind of like Action Comics.
Yeah.
From issues 750 to 800. It's Superman goes to a potluck dinner. Don't care.
So, but anyway, and season 3 I watched most of it. I just don't think I finished. I got probably about 3/4 of the way through.
Mm-hmm.
But I took a break from watching it, so then I didn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was getting better. But now I want to go back and watch for James Taylor and be like, I fucking know him.
Mm-hmm.
But last thing we have, with Marvel anyways, is Luke Cage comic series is coming to print after 9 years from the creator, 9 years after the announcement, I believe, or 9 years from when it was supposed to happen. Anyways, the creators of Samurai Jack are doing it.
Yes.
Gendy
Gendy Tartakovsky.
That.
It's a Samurai Jack guy, and he also did the excellent Clone Wars series.
Okay.
The little, the 10-minute shorts.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, that took place between episode 2 and episode 3.
Yeah. We talked about those in a couple episodes.
And it ended up being, how, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this or not, because we don't talk a whole lot of Star Wars.
We don't.
But, how General Grievous is all wheezy and and all that stuff? The reason that he's like that in episode, 2? Yeah, it took between episode 1 and episode 2. The reason that he's like that is because in the cartoon series, there's a fight between him and Mace Windu, where Mace Windu uses the Force to crush his chest.
Really?
Yeah, well, the guys who made the Clone Wars, Gendy Tartakovsky, went to Lucas and was like, in my cartoon, Mace Windu injured General Grievous pretty bad, so they put it in the movie. so that it's canon.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
And now none of those cartoons matter.
Oh, they totally matter. Have you seen them?
Well, no, I'm saying like they came out when Disney bought it up. So all the past stuff, not canon.
Yeah, that stinks.
You know, also Samuel L. Jackson and I think Lucas came out just recently saying that Mace Windu's not necessarily dead.
Oh, come on. Well,
they said you didn't actually
see him die. We just see him flung out of a window.
Yeah. We've seen other Jedis fall from high places.
Absolute power!
And stuff. Pew! So I was like, that's cool, because I like Mace Windu.
Yeah, I do too.
I was mad he didn't kill Anakin. Kill that bitch.
Annie, I'll kill you.
But, so yeah, it's just going to be a miniseries. It's just going to be called Cage, and it'll actually take him back to his 1970s roots.
That is fantastic. And it's a comic. It's going to be that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a comic run.
I'll have to get on that.
And onto our just other news.
Mm-hmm.
Pacific Rim 2 gets a 2018 release date. Apparently it's a thing again.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they're bringing it back.
Thank you, Jesus, for hearing my prayers. I loved Pacific Rim.
It was an amazing movie. They better bring Charlie back.
Dude.
I love Charlie Day and everything he does.
I love that movie so. It's giant robots fighting giant monsters. It's like a love letter to Ben. There you go.
You know what they should do?
What?
Bring Charlie Day back, right?
And it had Ron Perlman in it.
It did.
It was like Charlie Day. Like a perfect movie.
Bring him back.
Loved
He's
it.
like, I hired on an assistant, and it's Danny DeVito.
And a tiny Jaeger.
That'd be perfect.
So great. Why don't we get asked to write this stuff? We got big ideas, man.
A lot of them involve Danny DeVito.
Yeah, they do. These are money makers, my friend.
Oh my God.
Creative force. Right here.
We could rule the world. Danny DeVito.
At least make it better through Danny DeVito.
For Danny DeVito. That's about it. So yeah, it released early June with a date of February 2nd, 2018.
Okay. We need to put that on a calendar. Start marking off days.
Oh, I got super confused by how I wrote this. Okay, so Stephen King's movie It, the remake, has started filming.
Okay. That, I'm still not so... I don't know if I'm sold on that or not.
I was so thrown off because I typed Stephen King's It remake. So I guess it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. But before I read it as a title, I was like, Stephen King's It remake?
It.
Its director is Andy Muschietti. He posted a pic on Instagram showing a cast member's chair with the red It logo captioned Day One. And I didn't even think to look at like who's playing in it.
I wonder what Pennywise looks like. I mean, you got to understand. I remember watching this movie as a kid.
Yeah.
And it's with
Tim Curry. I just realized the other day when we talked
Tim
about
Curry.
it.
Yeah. That movie is the reason why so many people are afraid of clowns.
Oh yeah, that was terrifying movie.
You all float down here. You know, it's pretty scary stuff. And it turns out there's a giant fucking spider.
I remember watching it in the living room of our house in New York. Huh?
It's like a double whammy.
Oh yeah.
A clown that turns into a giant fucking spider.
Those things exist. There are clown spiders.
God.
Yeah, like they're very colorful and like their backs look like clown faces almost.
Evil.
But yeah, I remember watching it like sitting in our house in New York. And my dad trying to scare everybody. Scared the shit out of me. Another thing. Lost in Space TV series coming to Netflix.
Awesome. I'll watch that.
So apparently last fall, there was a competitive dogfight of bidding war with other various bidders for it, for like, I guess, the rights.
Wait a minute. They had a dogfight to determine who gets the rights?
That's
the awesomest thing I've ever heard.
Let's hope so. But apparently,
my God, rich people have no boundaries.
No. Dude, I was listening to the podcast What Say You? It's with Brian Quinn and Sal Volcano from Practical Jokers. And they were talking about how since they work on True TV and it's owned by Warner, whoever.
Conglomerate.
Yeah. I guess they host this big like golf tournament. There's just a ton of celebrities and like each like group of people can like sponsor a hole and like have different things, and
Mm-hmm.
they were talking about how they had the 18th hole, its very last one,
Okay.
and they just talked about how like everybody who got there first, like there was one hole set up as a party, and there was like a bar there,
That's
and they were talking about like the last like Tiger Woods came through with no, I'm sorry, it was Derek Jeter.
Okay.
Derek Jeter came through with a cart full of people and walked up to them and was like, look at how drunk these guys are. They're awesome. It's amazing. And like, they're just talking about how like every hole was like different. They're like, it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, fucking, to be rich, you just
That's
live
just-
another life.
They're just detached from reality.
I know. Like, you have to have a certain soap.
Yeah. Like
or
you have
not go to
to like not go to chain restaurants.
But anyways, they did put out a 10 episode order for the Lost in Space, but there's no date set or no date in sight with the website.
No cast or anything. Writers.
I don't think so.
Nothing.
I don't think they got anything, but hey, here's 10 episodes. Make it.
We got a name and 10
Yeah.
slots.
This is in space.
Okay.
Go.
All right.
Bryan Cranston cast as Zordon in the new Power Ranger movie.
That is incredible.
And it led to information I didn't know. I didn't know that he had history with the show.
He does.
Yeah, he played one of the villains, like in the costumes. But apparently, like so close to the show, Billy, the Blue Ranger,
Mm-hmm.
his name's Billy Cranston. In the show,
Really?
yeah, they gave him, like I went and double checked this. They gave the Blue Ranger the last name of Cranston because of Bryan Cranston.
What? Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he played one of the villains in the costumes.
No way.
Yeah.
As if my love for that man had no depth anyway.
And also, I don't know, I meant to look up the article to tell you. I don't know if this is a true thing or not, but like, there are things out there making it look like that there's going to be a like movie biography on Stan Lee
Mm-hmm.
and Bryan Cranston playing Stan Lee.
Oh my God.
And it looks fantastic. Like, you see that and you're like, oh my God, he's a young Stan Lee.
That's awesome. He's going to have like the mustache and the glasses and
Yeah,
everything.
everything.
That's wicked.
He said the movie will have a similar feel of like Batman. Wait, hold on.
What?
He said the movie to the show will have a similar feel of Batman, like 89 Batman, to 66 Batman series. Sort of how we were just talking about how Buffy the Vampire movie to show was like kind of crazy to serious, and 66 Batman was kind of the crazy to like the serious of the movies.
Right.
So I guess that's where they're looking at, like, I mean, the Power Ranger movies aren't like silly and like do goofy shit.
Oh, so you're talking about the Power Ranger movie is going to be.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the Stan Lee biopic.
No,
I was like, what the hell?
We're back on Power Rangers.
He had nothing to do with Batman. What are we talking about?
No, on Power Rangers. They
So
said
it's
the feel from the show to the movie is going to be the same feel as like 66 Batman to like Batman 89.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to have a little darker tone, maybe
Yeah.
little serious, but still have nods to the original.
Yeah.
And
Like, hopefully one thing we see is a pig villain that's just a pig head with little arms and legs.
yeah, I love that. What was that guy's name?
He had the Trojan helmet.
Yeah. What the hell was that guy's name?
I don't know. I think we actually talked about this on another episode.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, last thing I got is we talked about today. He-Man and Thundercats crossover has been announced.
Awesome.
And it's being done by DC. They're partnering up with Toy Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be a 6-issue event.
Cool.
It'll be written by Rob David,
Mm-hmm.
he's the one who did the...
Yeah, the most recent Masters of the Universe cartoon.
Okay. And penciled by Freddie E. Williams.
Who did the Batman TMNT run.
Yeah. That's a nice
Which was
art on that one.
excellent.
I was actually
Excellent
telling a
stuff.
customer about how highly you praise that.
Oh, yeah.
Because he
Love
was
it.
talking about how, I think he was saying that they've made the Turtles just ridiculous nowadays and all this stuff. And I was like, you haven't seen the comics. I was
Mm-mm.
like, they go back to, like, the serious comics.
Yeah, read the comic. If you're upset with I love the Nickelodeon show, the one that's out now. I think it's
I think
fantastic.
they're in, like, space now?
Yeah, they call it's like the
It's
original
super weird.
Ninja Turtle. Well, the original Ninja Turtles did all kinds of weird shit. They
Well, I
went
mean,
back
like-
in time. They met rock men. I mean, yeah, they went to space and all kinds of goofy shit.
But I mean, like they, and I don't remember that the old ones. But like this one, it's almost like a different show now.
Yeah, they go
like
to
the title sequence and everything's different. They're all in space and
it's Dimension X. They're in Dimension X now, which was a thing in the old show.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been a long
It was
time
even a
since I
thing
watched
back when the Ninja Turtles comic was an Archie comic. Did you know that?
I think we talked about that.
Yeah, that was
talking about
printed
all
by-
the things that were Archie comics.
Yeah.
It was just mind blown.
Yeah. They did a Dimension X thing there, too.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I got on news today.
Awesome.
So I guess
Good
we'll take
news,
our
man.
break. And
Yeah, we'll take a little break.
then we're coming back with a game of sorts.
A game?
Mm-hmm.
Want to play a game?
Paul Dini?
Oh, yeah.
Dini?
But it's not really. We're not really going to do a game
Okay.
with that. It's more, I'm just going to kind of talk about some things that you probably didn't know Paul Dini did.
Okay, I thought we were doing like trivia. Paul Dini.
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really.
But
But we're gonna talk about some things.
Okay. I got a game for you next week.
Oh, a game?
It's called Memes Are Made Up.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's internet things.
Just
Now,
because I don't have internet at home.
I will let you know, because just for a setup of it, essentially, you know what a meme is.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Like a picture of something. And
I don't seek them out,
Yeah.
but I know what they are.
So, John, on Facebook, and the internet quite a bit. Not Facebook, I don't think he does Facebook. But anyways, he's on the internet quite a bit.
Mhm.
I showed him 15 of what I have, because some of them are fake, some of them are made up. There's actually going to be 20 altogether. He didn't get most of them.
Really?
Yeah.
And you expect me to get these?
Absolutely.
Or is that the point?
I mean, you have a 50-50 shot.
Like a carnival sideshow?
Yeah.
Come see the internetless man.
You
Marvel at his confusion of memes.
You have a 50-50 shot.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll give you a little bit more of an advantage. It's completely half. Half are real, half are made up.
Okay. So
I'll give you
it's
that.
not really something I can study for.
Yeah. No, there's not.
It's going to be shooting from the hip.
Pretty much.
All right.
All right. So we're going to take our regularly scheduled break, and we'll be back.
Ta-da!
All right, and we are back from break.
We're back.
So, are we officially calling this Education Corner?
Kind of, sorta. It's more of a information corner. Since we're talking about Dark Knight, do the Dark Knight with just Night, which is the Paul Dini original graphic novel. Well, Dark Knight, a true Batman story.
There you go.
By Paul Dino.
Paul
or
Dino?
Paul Dini, sorry.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Did you just have a stroke?
Drooling. I shit myself. Paul Dini, art by Eduardo Rizzo.
And this is actually, I mean, it's still DC, of course, but it's actually released by Vertigo. Which, if you don't know, is like where DC has their dark books come out at.
Yeah.
When they want to get to violent and graphic, they go to Vertigo.
Yeah.
They don't often, like, you never see a main DC character.
No, it's the naughty side of DC,
Yeah.
basically.
And in all fairness, going into this actually isn't, like, it's about Paul Dini, not necessarily Batman.
Mm-mm.
But it's kind of cool, though.
It factors greatly. Well, anyway, Paul Dini, what I was getting at is, whether you do or don't know who Paul Dini is, there's a pretty good chance if you've watched a cartoon since the 70s, Paul Dini has written it.
That far back?
One of the first things he did was Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He did several episodes of that. There was a New Adventures of Mighty Mouse that he did. There was a Tarzan cartoon that he did back in '79.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah. There was a Flash Gordon TV series
Of course there
that he
was.
wrote on.
Was it animated, or?
I would imagine so, but it doesn't really say, because he also wrote for, you remember the Incredible Hulk TV series back in the 80s?
With Sad Hulk walking away?
Yeah, he wrote an episode of that. And I don't know if you remember this, but I sure as shit do. The Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
I never watched it, but I do know of it.
You know of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wrote 2 episodes of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Wrote 9 episodes of that.
Damn. You did a bunch on that.
Yeah.
Comparative, anyways.
Yeah, comparatively. Scooby-Doo. He wrote episode of G.I. Joe.
Wow, you could have hit me with trivia and I would have known that.
Yeah. See, that's why I didn't know if I wanted to do trivia or not, because I don't think you would have really got a whole lot of this, like his later
stuff. Done
stuff.
multiple choice.
I guess I could have, but I'm lazy.
Or true or false.
True.
I just said true for everything.
The Droids cartoon. There was a Star Wars cartoon called Droids. It was about C-3PO and R2-D2. He wrote an episode of that. Yeah. Transformers, Ewoks. There was an Ewoks cartoon.
More Than Meets the Eye.
There you go. He wrote a couple episodes of Beanie and Cecil. You remember, because he talks about Beanie and Cecil being his favorite cartoon.
Is that the bird?
No, it's the little kid and the sea monster.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he wrote a couple episodes of that when it came out in 88, or was, came back out in 1988. The Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure cartoon. He wrote episode of that. Tiny Toons, of course. He actually won his first Emmy for...
The Steven Spielberg joint.
That's right, Steven Spielberg joint. Won an Emmy for that.
Did he work on Animaniacs too? I know that's also
yes.
Steven Spielberg.
Yes, he created Minerva Mink.
The squirrel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or mink. She's a mink.
She a mink?
It's like a ferret. Yeah, the thing with the bushy tail that was boy crazy.
Oh, we're thinking of 2 totally different things.
Not the squirrel.
I think the squirrel grandma who used to be a cartoon famous, and she had a little nephew squirrel would come.
No. This was the other thing. She was a mink. She was white and she had a pink nose and she was all hot and stuff for a cartoon.
Was she the main character in her that
Yeah.
part of the cartoon?
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
Minerva.
'Cause I've been watching a lot of Animaniacs lately.
Yeah. Plucky Duck Show. I didn't realize they did a Plucky Duck Show.
You want to know something funny?
What?
You know what I used to call him?
What?
Fucky Duck.
Of course you did.
When I was a baby. Or when I was
when you were a baby.
Well, when I was 2 months
Jesus.
old. But yeah, I couldn't say it right.
Danny's
Instead of Plucky
14.
Duck, I'd say Fucky Duck.
Batman, of course. Animated series. Classic. Created Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
Freakazoid. Do you remember Freakazoid?
Fucking love Freakazoid.
Yeah. Wrote 4 episodes
Where
of
did
that.
that go? Why doesn't that come back to
No
Netflix?
shit. Several
That was a weird fucking show.
It was, but it was so funny. It was so irreverent and crazy. New Batman Adventures, which was kind of meh, but he wrote a lot of that. Batman Beyond, Superman.
Mm-hmm.
What else is in here? Oh, the Batman Beyond movie, Return of the Joker.
Which was great.
Yeah.
Tim Drake was Joker. Spoiler.
Mm-hmm. He wrote 1 episode of Lost, which won a Writers Guild Award.
Yep, I was about to say it, and I was like, no, I don't want to steal that from you. Make it sound like I knew that when you told me 3 hours ago. Yeah, you know he won an award for that?
I totally knew that. Duck Dodgers. I love Duck Dodgers.
I can wait for those pops to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are some cool looking pop figures. Justice League. Oh, he wrote. You remember Lego Batman the game?
Yeah,
he wrote that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or helped write it. I think.
Love Paul Dini.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have half the things I love if it wasn't for that man.
All right. I mean, there's just so much that this man has written that were core parts of my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Batman. That was an every day after school.
My favorite thing ever.
Time for Batman. Don't talk to me.
Nope.
Don't look at me. I got my Doritos.
Mm-hmm.
And Batman's coming on.
Guys, remember 3D Doritos?
We've talked about the 3Ds. I almost lost a damn tooth to one of them.
Yeah, I mean, you got a bunch more.
Fucking things. Ultimate Spider-Man. I remember that. Oh, he wrote an episode of Wabbit. Have you watched that mess?
I have. Now, my dad vouches for that show.
I can't do it, man.
Because I told him, I was like, it just doesn't seem like Bugs Bunny. And he said, like, he thought the same thing. And then he actually, like, sat down and watched it. And he said, there are some episodes that aren't good.
Yeah.
He's like, but if you, like, watch it, like, it has the same feels and, like, strides and stuff.
I guess. I didn't enjoy it. It didn't seem funny to me. It seemed like they're straining for a laugh.
Yeah, the one episode I watched I enjoyed. It had Yosemite Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because now, like, they portray him as, like, a robber. Like, he's a bank robber now.
Yeah.
Instead of just a cowboy.
Well, he was always kind of a bad guy, like the original Looney Tunes stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, on the Looney Tunes show where he was just their neighbor who stole their cable and shit.
Yeah. But, like, in this one, like, now he has, like, a mask.
Well, he's
like,
always got a mask.
Has he?
Yeah. The black around his eyes, it's a mask.
Are you sure?
Uh-huh.
I'll have to go look that up. Because I may remember it different. But anyways, he breaks out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow he discovers the internet. He takes Wabbit hostage and tells him, bring me to the internet.
What?
Because he doesn't know what it is. He doesn't know it's like, you just access it from like a computer. He's like, bring me to the internet.
You stupid bastard.
And so like Wabbit's just like leading him all these places. They wind up like at this one spot and he's like, oh, it's right in this grate or whatever. And like he jumps in the grate and he's back in prison. Really, that was a pretty good. He's like, bring me to the internet.
Bring me to the... Oh, here's one I almost missed.
And weird thing with him, he doesn't have guns. He uses his fingers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're not done.
Yeah, that was
Took me totally out of it.
Yeah, that was pretty rough.
Here's one I almost missed. He wrote an episode of Jim. You remember Jim?
I never watched
She's truly, truly, truly outrageous.
I never watched it.
She was like a magic pop star.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were actually just
Jim and the Holograms. They made that shitty movie.
The shitty movie
that nobody saw.
6 months ago.
He wrote so much awesome stuff.
The man's pretty much a genius.
I'm gonna have to look up some of that Flash Gordon. Some of those episodes.
Of course you will.
I love Flash Gordon.
Flash.
Oh, he's the savior of the universe.
Growing up, I'd get so confused between Flash and Flash Gordon.
Really? Well, I can see that.
Flash Gordon's a little bit before my time.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew Batman. I was probably pretty rude right now. Chewing my chips into the mic.
A mouthful of whatever those are.
Munchies.
Oh, puppy chow. Okay.
Puppy chow. We market to stoners. But,
we just put a bunch of end-of-bag shit into one bag.
Pretty much. That shit's delicious, though. I love it. But yeah, like, growing up, I never... Like, I knew Batman, I knew Superman. Like, I knew of The Flash and stuff like that. But my main was, the animated series ones. Like, I didn't grow up on comics, which was unfortunate, but I got there.
Hey, man.
But, so, like, I was always confused. I didn't know, like, there was a difference, because people would say, like, The Flash, and I'm like, wait, that guy? Like, for a while, because I'd never heard of Flash Gordon for a while, and I knew The Flash.
Mm-hmm.
But I never knew, like, Flash was Barry Allen.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear about the, like, Flash Gordon, and I was like, wait, is that the same Flash that I know? I had no idea.
No, stupid.
No, dummy.
Go back outside.
Push me down some stairs. I was so confused by that, though.
Throw food at your face. Go away.
Here's some munchies.
But yeah, Paul Dini done amazing things, including this book.
Yeah, this book's fucking awesome.
We'll just let you finish. Everybody listen. Eating chips, the least most conducive food to podcasting.
For the most part, I put my mic away. Probably doesn't help to have a full mouth of chips.
May as well be playing a kazoo while you do it.
All right,
playing the drums.
I'm better. They're away. So that was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now into the book.
Into it.
All right. So as we said, Dark Knight, True Batman story.
Mm-hmm.
An official graphic novel. It's pretty much an autobiography.
Yeah, this is not a graphic novel. This is the manifesto of a crazy person.
It's pretty crazy. So,
yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do this a little different. We're trying to give broad strokes of the book. Because it's 129 pages. So to go panel by panel would be pretty crazy. So, starts out, Paul Dini kind of gives us a setup of his life. He was the outcast. He was the shy kid. He tried to be invisible, and in turn became a target.
Yeah, and trying to camouflage himself from the bullies, he ended up becoming a bigger target.
Yeah. And he said the only time he kind of felt seen or alive is talking to his imaginary friends, essentially.
Which were cartoon characters.
Yeah, cartoon
for the
characters.
most part. Like Beanie and Cecil.
Exactly. And that's kind of how he lived and survived, and it kind of does a time jump, and I think they pretty much start out with him working on Tiny Toons, and they kind of show his life, and I guess throughout his whole life he has talked to these figures, whether they be his creations, other creations, cartoons, stuff like that. And he works at Warner Brothers, of course, currently working on Batman. And they start talking about his romance life. And essentially, women would go on a date with him to meet other people.
Yeah, because they knew he had ties to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, so
especially Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, because he was doing Tiny Toons at the time, and the one girl would go with him to try to meet him, Steven Spielberg. And essentially what happens is they go out, and the conversation essentially leads to him discovering that she doesn't consider them dating when he did.
Which is a knife in the heart.
Yes, especially he talks about how much time and effort he's put into. He's talked about this girl with his therapists. He's put in some time and effort here. Which even, like, he knows what it is, but he kind of denies it.
Yeah. He wants it to be more. He's the only one in this relationship.
Yeah. So once she kind of let that cat out of the bag that oh, we're good friends and you can talk to me whenever, he decides to try to make her jealous. So when they leave, he goes, no, I have somewhere to be, and decides to walk home. Probably about the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Because essentially what happens is he gets mugged.
It's not essentially. It is what happens.
Yeah. And, God, to say a mugging is light.
Yeah, no, he gets fucked right up.
They, essentially they tried to murder him. They beat the shit out of him. They took what he had, which probably wasn't very much. I'm sure he has plenty right now, but back then he was not starting, but he wasn't loaded by any means.
No.
And yeah, they beat the hell out of him. And actually, when they leave, they get in their car and flip their car around and try to hit him. And then from there, at this time is when they're writing for Mask of the Phantasm. And so he gets home, and he doesn't go to the hospital. He calls the cops. There's essentially nothing they can do.
Yeah, or nothing that they're gonna do.
Or they're gonna do, yeah. They said they'd keep an eye out. If there's any updates, they'll let him know, but that's about it. He calls up, I can't remember her name. She voices Harley Quinn.
Arlene Sorkin. And because they became close friends.
And tells her about it. And she's like, well, let me send my boyfriend over to bring you to the hospital. He goes, nah, I haven't met him before. That's kind of a weird way to meet. So he just kind of hangs out and says, I'll go to the hospital tomorrow. Well, he goes to the hospital tomorrow and finds out that he should have gone. His face is crushed in. He had to have a bunch of surgeries. These guys did a number on him.
Yeah, they destroyed his zygomatic arch, which is your eye socket.
Yeah, it was mush. And
they turned his face into a Nerf ball.
Essentially. And after it all happened, he made the smart move to go drink some beer and get in a hot tub.
He was drinking Myers rum.
Oh, yeah. Which, the two worst things to do when you have injuries like that is go into a hot bath and drink alcohol. So he goes through that, and it kind of shows the effects. He starts questioning Batman because he's lived a life and written about this hero that saves people when they need him.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time that he needed him, there was no Batman. So he starts questioning a lot of things, which any normal person would do. So he pushes off working for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and he just kind of stays to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And
At the behest of the Joker.
yes, this whole time he's talking to the Joker. We see Scarecrow, Two-Face, a lot of villains come in.
Crazy.
Yeah, like...
See, now, not to stop your train of thought
That's
there,
fine.
but when he's talking to and like having conversations with Batman and the Joker and Scarecrow in the psychological field,
Mm-hmm.
we would call that intrusive thoughts. That's kind of a bad thing.
Yeah, like, I was wondering that, like, when I was reading it, I was like, so, is this... Like, I wonder how, like... I don't want to say true, but, like, in his mind, would he literally be talking to them? Or
Like,
was he
are they
using it as
materialized? Like, can he see
not
them?
necessarily
Is that what you're talking
materialized, but
about?
if he, like, literally would, like, sit there after it happened and been like, Batman, where were you? And he would hear, like, in his head a response from Batman. Or if he's using this as a, like...
It's a coping mechanism.
You know what I mean? Like, I just wonder that, like, how... Like,
Mhm.
even at the end when he's talking to Harley, like, oh, we got some plans for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if it was... Which, either way, like, I'm sure there's a bit of, because I can
Mhm.
see someone, like, being that, like, why wasn't Batman here to save me?
Mm-hmm.
I think the whole conversations is what I'm wondering about.
Yeah. Well, even as a child, it was a coping mechanism. Like I said, he didn't want to be bullied, ended up being bullied anyway because of trying to hide.
Mhm.
So he would retreat to his mind with his friends, which are cartoon characters,
Yeah.
the Looney Tunes,
Mm-hmm.
and then that just carried over into his adult life when all these tragic damn things would happen.
Yeah.
Some would say not too healthy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't.
But you also got to keep in mind the man is profoundly creative.
Oh, yeah. And that kind of comes with the territory most times.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah. So, I mean, he seems sane enough now.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah.
so, just anyways, he puts off work. He doesn't want to write. He actually switches up projects because he's supposed to write about some big fight, and he kind of doesn't want to do that because it'll essentially make him relive what happened. Because if you're sitting there like, okay, let me make a fight. Let me write a story about a fight. You're going to start pulling from experiences, especially one that happened 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, something that sent you to the hospital.
Yeah, so he, takes on other stories, and we finally see the turning point. He, I believe he's in a CD store?
Yeah, he's in a CD store. Or a record shop.
Record
whatever.
shop, yeah, at the time, I guess. And he's talking to the clerk. Somehow they get in conversation, whatever, of him working for Warner Brothers. And
He's wearing a jacket that has the WB shield
he's
on the back.
wearing a WB bag. And the guy talks to him and asks what he's working on, and he tells him Batman, and the guy starts telling him how if he works on Tiny Toons,
Mm-hmm.
and he talks about how he has worked on it, and
Mm-hmm.
he asks him about a very specific episode. And, Paul Dini says, it wasn't me, but I'll pass the message on. Essentially what happened is the guy had, I believe, his wife
Mm-hmm.
in his life who has cancer, and would talk about how they would watch that to make them feel better.
Hmm.
And it kind of helped Paul Dini snap into it and be like, I am doing good with this.
Yeah. Well,
I'm making people's lives better.
his whole thing was he thought he didn't matter.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, well, yeah, you do matter.
You do matter.
The things you do matter to
Yeah.
people.
So he kind of snaps out of it and kind of gets back to working, and towards the end we see him as essentially defeat the Joker in his mind, because it's kind of been a battle with him.
Yeah.
On the surface, yes, it's a battle of struggling with being beat up literally and kind of metaphorically, and
Mm-hmm.
but the whole time he's been struggling with the Joker, and Joker's like, nah, you don't need to do anything. Just sit there, relax, play video games.
Watch your cartoons.
Yeah, watch cartoons. Just do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes to the end where he he beats the Joker and he goes, I'm mad at what I do is, important to people and I'm going to continue it. It's a very well written story.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, and I almost didn't even put the twist in. We find out in the beginning, the big reveal. It's current Paul Dini pitching to people
to a boardroom
who do not meet. And he talks about how he has to do storyboards because of the way they're presenting it. You figure out at the end of it that the people he's pitching to are the people in his head. Not only Rogue Gallery, but Batgirl's in there too. Yeah,
Batgirl's in there.
So, like, the cartoons that he's talked through his whole life, he was telling the story to. Which was kind of cool.
That's the pitch meeting. Yeah. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, when they turned to him, when I first started, I was like, okay, I thought it was going to be like him teaching a class. That's kind of the vibe I got from it.
Or pitching to, like, Warner Brothers executives or something.
And then turns out he was pitching the story to
Joker and Scarecrow. Yeah. And
was Joker? Yeah, because that's when he defeated Joker and walled him up and stuff like that. But, really good read. I mean, it's
one of my favorite reads this year.
Yeah, it's pretty violent in that one fight. I mean, it gets pretty crazy. So we'll go through, and I marked a bunch of spots I wanted to talk about.
Cool.
Take my dust cover off. Yeah. So in it, when he's talking about his love life, he does this panel, and it's essentially Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, with him as Wile E. Coyote and the girl as the Roadrunner. And I just love how, like, the old school, like, cartoon look to it.
One of his quote unquote girlfriends who really
just wants things.
Yeah, is not even really a friend.
Yeah.
Is someone who's using him.
Yeah. And they through this whole thing, they pull tons of different cartoons from Looney Tunes to, you got Looney Tunes right there, to Tiny Toons. At one point, he's playing the Tiny Toons video game. You remember that?
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, I missed that game.
Yeah. Like Tom and Jerry. He's written some Tom and Jerry as well.
Has he?
That's awesome. Some of the DVD movies,
Yeah. And one thing I really liked about here, I didn't know about it. He, when they were first coming up with kind of Batman and how they were going to do it, he looked at the old, the Fleischer.
Yeah, the Fleischer Superman from the 40s.
And talked about how that tone and everything seemed like it fit better for
Batman. Yeah.
And sure enough, it did.
That's where they got the idea to do it in rotoscope. Like the animation in Batman, the animated series, is known as rotoscope.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
How it's fluid, it's, more realistic movements, not cartoon movements. It's called rotoscope.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how they filmed those Fleischer cartoons.
Yeah, I didn't know, and it makes sense when you back and look at Fleischer cartoons, and you're like, okay, that kind of has that darkish tone to it. Oh, man. Let's see. Okay, yeah. The actual, incident of him leaving the girl.
Yeah.
To try to make her jealous. That's the crazy thing. It was because he wanted to make this girl feel jealous.
Yeah, it was a girl who cared nothing about him as a man.
At all.
He was not a romantic interest to her at all.
Nope.
And he decided to make this one last play to try to make her jealous, and she couldn't give less of a shit.
And another crazy thing is he talks about how he saw the two guys, and they were two black guys, hoodies up, all this stuff like that, and he didn't want to seem like he was stereotyping them and walk across the street, And unfortunately, the assumption he would have made would have been the correct one.
Yeah, he failed his instincts.
And even Batman talks to him later, well, you didn't follow your instincts. You had the signals. You could have gone to the other side of the street, or you could have gone to someone's house, or you could have done multiple things.
Yeah, you could have knocked on a door.
That's another thing, is Batman kind of berating him, you could have done better.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy to see that we all have an inner parent.
Yeah.
His inner parent's Batman.
I'm so jealous.
I figured you would be jealous about that.
Oh, and then the part where he's in his mind, like, in the Batcave.
Yeah, when he's soaking in the tub.
Yeah.
And he calls it the Lazarus Pit.
Yeah, and that's where he's talking about where Batman told him that he could have. It's like you could have had escaped him, used the smaller attacker momentum, flipped him into the bigger one. It's just basic jujitsu move. I use it all the time. It's just basic jujitsu move. I use it all the time. And then he tells him, like, there's 2 reasons it works for you, because you're trained in martial arts. 2, you're a drawing.
Yeah. 2, you don't exist.
And then I like how he kind of goes back and you kind of see it happen again, but this time with Batman jumping in.
Mm-hmm. His real life version of a what if.
Yeah, and like what should have happened. Why didn't this happen?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, anytime you throw Batman in there, I'm pretty okay with it.
And there's one part where he's talking to the cops, and the cops find a receipt on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, did you drop this? And he was like, yeah, that's a receipt from the restaurant I was at tonight before I got beat the hell out of. And the cop gives it to him. He's like, hey, do you need this so you could check for fingerprints?
Yeah.
And the cop goes, nah.
Yeah.
And gets in the cop car and he's like, Batman would have checked for fingerprints.
I've done that to a cop before.
What?
Like, ask them if, like, could they not do fingerprints? Because, like, when I lived in Hill Street, I got robbed.
Right.
And I had a TV, Xbox, all the stuff still, whatever. And there's only one way they can get in. And, my door is padlocked in my bedroom. So, like, they came in, did the report, whatever, and I was like, so do you guys, like, not do fingerprints or anything like that? And they're like, no, unfortunately, we don't have the setup for that.
Oh.
I was like, okay, cool.
So calling you was pointless. Thank you.
Pretty much.
Show yourselves out. Officers.
Oh, God, and then this part.
Yeah, this part is where I figured out that he's nuts.
Yeah.
Or at least this part in his life he is. And this is before the beating.
Yeah, he won himself, what, Golden Globe, I believe that is?
No, he won an Emmy for Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
That was his first Emmy.
And he gets really upset because the girl that he wanted to go with him didn't go with him.
Because, the reason that she didn't go is because they weren't televised.
Yeah.
She wanted to be on TV.
That's right, because his award part wasn't going to get televised.
Yeah.
Like, it would get mentioned, and then that was it.
Yeah, and she was like, nah, it's not going to be on TV. I don't want to go.
And so he takes the award and cuts himself to shit with it.
Yeah, which if you've ever seen an Emmy, it's the little gold lady
holding
with
the
the ball and got the crazy sharp wings. Well, he's mutilating himself with the sharp wings. He pierces his chin.
Yeah, that's so
with
weird. Like, not even his chin, like underneath.
Yeah,
it, like,
and he's talking to himself. Anywhere where he saw an imperfection, he left a little mark.
That's
in his chin.
Insane.
Cuts his stomach to shreds.
Yeah, I'm like said, like, and then he wraps himself up, and then Poison Ivy talks shit.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it! But just imagine how what's got to be going through your mind. You just won a very prestigious award.
Oh yeah,
for what you do with your life.
You love.
Yeah, and you feel compelled to injure yourself over some girl. Yeah. With this award, that is messed up, man. That needs evaluation.
You need to like kind of look back and think about this stuff.
Yeah.
But
to me, that was chilling. To me,
it really was.
It was
like,
jarring.
I saw that, and it's one of those things where, like, and of course, like, we know that we don't actually know like famous people, but like I've listened to him on podcasts and stuff, and you kind of feel like okay, he's probably a pretty normal guy, creative, all this stuff. And then you read this and you're like, holy shit.
You're like, wow.
He's nothing of what I thought.
Yeah, he's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Like I saw that, like him cutting himself there. I'm like, that's twisted.
Yeah, that was, like I said, that was very jarring. I did not expect that.
Yeah, and like just the idea of something that someone would covet, would hold dear.
Yeah, there you go.
Using it to mutilate yourself, like, just the irony of that situation.
Yeah, and it didn't even seem like he really cared that he won the award.
Yeah.
Because the girl didn't go with him.
Yeah. Like, That's crazy. We've already talked about this part.
Broken.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I like how when he goes into, he starts getting back to work and stuff, and he starts pitching the idea of Batman fighting the Rogues Gallery and, like, barely making away, and he, like, passes out, and he's in, like, the dream world or wherever he may be, and he meets Death, and then Morpheus comes.
The Sandman.
Yeah. And then gives him the option of, you can go with Death, and you can die and be peaceful and all this, or you can go back.
Right. What I thought was cool about this is that this was something that he pitched
to
his boss as an episode of Batman. And they're like, it's kind of dark. Well, this is kind of what's going on in his mind.
Oh, yeah. I think that'd be awesome to see, like, actually in a show or somewhere. For all we know, he may have pitched it. Well, I don't think there's anything I've seen like that. Lead it with that whole story. I'd love to see it. Anything Paul Dini, really.
True.
Oh, and then we get to the twist where it turns out he's pitching to... It's pretty much his Rogues Gallery, except Batgirl's in there for some reason.
Yeah, and he's talking to Harley, his creation.
Yeah.
And she's basically, glad to see you back, glad to see you got your sense of humor back.
Yeah.
Sense of humor, I love that. See, that's the Harley Quinn that I adore. Right there. Love her so much.
Hopefully we get her back. And I do love the fact that, like, kind of each villain was, like, talking to him and, like, trying to play him into their, like, game. Like, Scarecrow was telling him how, like, oh, anytime you see a quick movement, like, you're gonna flinch a little, and you're gonna be nervous to answer your door, and just, like, typical, like, Scarecrow
making
stuff.
him paranoid.
And you know, Mr. Freeze was talking about how, like, he's gonna be so cold now because of what happened to him.
You'll never love again.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome. And, like, Riddler's like, you'll never know of what happened to those guys.
Yeah, you'll never know. Passes him a note.
Yeah.
You know, you'll never know.
The
man,
and it's crazy just how much it fits in. With everything he went through, was probably still to this day going through his head, but, like, how each villain, like, fits a certain aspect.
And, like, the Penguin, basically trying to lead him to the dark side to go buy a gun.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's just...
And Batman shows shame, is with him when he's buying the gun. He's like, why are you buying that? Why do you need that?
Yep.
That's brilliant stuff.
It really is. And then Two-Face talking shit to him. Huh. 2 scars.
That it?
Yeah.
2 little scars.
And then, of course, you got Joker just...
Eating away at him.
Yeah.
Eating away at his psyche.
It's an interesting-looking Joker.
I thought it looks kind of like a cross between Killing Joke and Endgame Joker.
A little bit, yeah. It really does.
I like it. I like that Joker.
It's because we've seen so many incarnations, like, you really don't see new ones anymore. And I like this one.
Yeah, like that. That's twisted, man.
It is. But, alright, then we just get to the end, and essentially he boards up the Joker, and actually he talks about... Joker asks him, what is this? And he said, well, leftover idea from Batman Beyond. Which is awesome, because he had an idea to beat the Joker by walling him in the Batcave and just leaving him there as a prisoner. Yeah,
and chunking food in every once in a while.
Yeah.
Which, in itself, that's pretty dark.
Yes, it is. And probably why they didn't do it.
Yeah, kind of vindictive for Batman.
And then Joker, Harley Quinn gets back and asks him, what do you got for me today? And he starts kind of coming up with ideas.
And then he's
kind of getting back to the usual.
Yep. You can see his mind is, mended. And he uses this for his creative purposes. I love this story.
It really is. I was looking forward to it for so long.
Because Paul Dini's so amazing. Such an amazing writer. And for him to write something like that, to basically lay himself bare.
Yeah, I was going to say, you never see this much inside a writer's head.
That took a lot of courage.
It really did.
And I give him props for that.
And he has a bunch of, like, thank yous in the beginning, and he still, like, his whole reason for, like, actually putting it out there was like Kevin Smith, actually. Like in one of the podcasts, he was talking about how like you should talk about it and put it out there. It'll help and you'll feel better. And he to this day he's like, yeah, it's Kevin Smith. He thanked a bunch of other people had parts in it, but he was talking about like Kevin Smith is a big part of like why he decided to go ahead and talk about it.
And I don't say this often, so don't gloat. And I probably won't say it for a very long time, but good job, Kevin Smith.
Yes, thank you, Kevin Smith.
Thank you. Well done.
Thank you, Kevin Smith, all the time.
I know you do.
That's me.
But yeah, thanks a lot for that. And thank you, Paul Dini.
Yes.
And Eduardo Rizzo for your amazing artwork.
And to the two thugs who beat up.
Oh my God, don't.
Where would we be without them?
How dare you?
First of all, how dare you? We wouldn't have that without...
We wouldn't have
I'll
this
take that back.
without those two ne'er-do-wells. Or nefarious fuckers, we'll call them.
Fucks.
Yeah. But if you haven't read it, go find it. You will love it.
Yes. Dark Knight, true Batman story. And as always, if you guys are in the Jasper, Georgia area, or LJ, or anywhere within 100 miles, go see Imperial Comics.
Go see Patrick. Oh, and another place. I found a super cool comic shop in Port Charlotte, Florida.
Really?
Called Shamrock Comics. The dude there, I didn't catch his name, but super cool guy.
Really? Okay.
Really nice shop. So we're branching out.
2 places to go buy comics. That
there
are
you go.
Filled with cool guys.
Yeah.
But ask them for Dark Knight, true Batman story. They can get it for you.
Yeah, it's still available. You can still order it through previews.
It's only a couple weeks out. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, it's so old. But I guess I just assume that it's sold out because it's so good.
I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't end up with a couple printings.
Oh, my God, it's so amazing. So amazing. And it's only like $23 too. 28 if you're in Canada, but you're in Canada, so it's your fault.
So much content for such a small price.
Yeah, for real. It is. God, it's so good. But, alright, guys, that's going to be it for us. As always, follow us on Twitter at 2dadsinacomic, SoundCloud 2dadsinacomic. I don't care if you follow Instagram, because I don't do it anymore.
Follow on who?
On Instagram.
Instagram.
I haven't messed with Instagram in a while.
I've never looked at our Instagram. Is there anything on it?
There's stuff.
No.
I just don't do it a lot.
Can I get that on my phone? I don't.
You can't. You can't get anything on your phone. You can't get the newest iOS. Sorry.
I'm going to have to break down and get a new phone, I guess.
Probably. You got to play Pokemon Go.
Yes, I do. There's my reason.
There you go. There's a $600 reason.
Not joining the rest of the world. No, Pokemon.
Like Pokemon Go. But, and subscribe to us at iTunes, 2Dads in a Comic, on Google Play.
Yeah, Google Music. Yeah,
and go see our website at 2dadsinacomic.weebly.com. If you've looked at it, where we put our YouTube videos, I finally have got it mostly updated. Working on that. God, I need to write like a little script for our follow us at. There's so much.
Yeah, there's a lot. But, if there's a thing, we're probably on it.
Yeah,
right.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And for next episode, we are going to talk on the Punisher issue 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Is it just the Punisher? Is it like a Punisher and then subtitle?
No, Punisher.
It's just straight Punisher.
The Punisher.
Okay, cool. So yeah, guys, we're gonna talk about that next time. And
also, not for kids.
Oh yeah,
much like Dark Knight, not for kids.
Yeah, Dark Knight's not for kids.
Yeah, Punisher definitely not for kids. Yeah. But excellent read.
All right, guys. So we'll see you next week.
Good night.